Hello and welcome back to Tits, Tums and All Things Mum. I'm here with the lovely Nicola today. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Lovely to have you. We've known each other for a really long time. So start by telling us a bit about yourself and then we'll go into like the backstory of how we met and everything.
So my name's Nicola Chan and I'm a body confidence coach. And I became a body confidence coach through starting in the fitness industry. So I actually worked out the other day, I've been in the industry for 20 years.
Wow.
I know, I've been.
You don't even look 20, so that's just rude.
So yeah, I started like most people in fitness to try and help other people, like to get fitter and healthier. But the messaging that I got in the industry was all about body and that I should look a certain way. And it really affected me. Like I didn't know it at the time. I thought, you know, it's a good thing to always be pushing yourself to be better. These are the kind of messages that you get all the time. And you're also told that your body is your brand. So obviously I am, you know, personally in this body, but I'm in a business in this body. And I feel like I have to show up and look a certain way. And then once I achieved a certain look, I then had to maintain that. And I also felt like, you know, I need to jump the highest, run the furthest and always be pushing myself in order to be motivational for others. So along that journey, I ended up with an eating disorder and body image issues. And I think a lot of it is the pressure in the industry, the way that we talk about bodies, especially women's bodies. And now with social media, like all the kids are getting affected by that as well, that, you know, we should conform to a type of beauty standard. So a long story short, I came out the other side of that and decided I could either continue through that or I could do something different. And I realised that I was spending 95% of my brain focused on body image and hating myself, which had got good results. I'd got trophies and medals, but I still wasn't happy on the inside. So I thought, what if I use that 95% of my brain on something positive and I try and love my body instead. So that was like the beginning of the journey to becoming a body confidence coach.
I love that. So we actually met when I was competing in fitness, and at the time I was probably the unhappiest I've ever been, but I was the skinniest that I've ever been. I probably looked the best, like in terms of society standards, that I'd ever been, but I was so unhappy. And I remember actually going to the gym wearing baggy clothes at 7 stone, thinking that I still wasn't skinny enough because people at the gym knew that I was competing. I was worried that they were going to be like, she's competing, she's not ready, look, she's still got, you know, a little bit of fat there. And it's ridiculous, isn't it, these standards that we put upon ourselves. So we met when I was competing. We then subsequently did a radio show together. You were hosting a radio show at the time. And I then went to prep for a second competition where I then developed an eating disorder. And after that, we then spoke about the eating disorder. I gave you a book recommendation, which got you out of it.
Was that the Brain Over Binge?
Brain Over Binge, yeah. That literally saved my life.
Saved mine as well.
It literally, I can't remember who wrote it now.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Catherine Hansen.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had her on my podcast as well.
Yeah, so that book literally saved my life and I was telling the world about it. And that is how I got out of the eating disorder. And that's kind of how we started chatting again, wasn't it?
How did you know you had an eating disorder?
So I knew that I had an unhealthy relationship with food because it was a reward and a punishment rather than something to enjoy or something to fuel my body. And then obviously trigger warning for those with eating disorders, started making myself sick. So that's how I kind of knew that it had become more of a problem. So, and then I got the help, read that book, went to the doctors, got all the support, told people, which is a big thing, I think, because at the time it was very much a secretive thing. I'd drive to the shops, secretly buy the food and do it in private. But as soon as I told people, it was almost like a weight off my shoulders and kind of stopped doing it then. So yeah.
See, mine was different because I didn't know I had an eating disorder.
Did you not?
Because although I had those feelings of I want to make myself sick and did try, I couldn't.
And
so because I never did that, and that's what I thought was considered bulimia, I had non-purging bulimia. So it meant that I was using exercise as a way of working off my calories, which if you think about the fitness industry, that's what we're told to do.
I mean, that's what I was doing up until I figured out that I could make myself sick. But binge eating disorder is an eating disorder, and that's no purging at all. So
there's loads of different types of eating disorders, and there's obviously the medical journal DCIM, which says what an eating disorder is, and then there's outside of that so many people with disordered eating, and loads of them are in the fitness industry. Like, so I was in that place surrounded by loads of other people doing exactly the same thing. So I thought, well, I'm normal. I'm an athlete, go me. I'm so disciplined.
But it's so bad for your body. Like I was saying in the green room earlier, I gave myself kidney failure because my calories were so restricted, but a large portion of them were protein. And for such a small frame, for someone who's 7 stone, 150, 160 grams of protein, my body wasn't coping with it. So I got kidney failure, and I also had no periods for like 6 months.
I had no periods.
Yeah, and it's so bad for your body, but when you're in it, you're just like, this is fine, this is normal. Yeah, everyone's going through the same.
It's like a sign of achievement as well, though, for some people.
Yeah,
I've got no periods, so I'm obviously an athlete.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really, really scary. But when I look back at pictures of myself back then, my head looks too big for my body, and I looked like awful.
Lollipop
like my face was all like sunken in, and I was like, why did I think that was okay?
But I think you get used to it because you need a lot of motivation. You feel your feed with other bodybuilders, you're looking at them all the time, that it trains your mind into that's what normal people look like.
Yeah, definitely.
And they don't. And you're in the gym all the time and always comparing yourself.
Yeah,
that you can obviously feel like you're not enough.
Yeah,
there's always something better.
Yeah.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Cover My Bubble. Emma and Chris lost their baby girl Lily Beth at 1 month old and faced financial struggles on top of their grief due to not having life insurance. Now they help others by offering insurance for parents, children and bumps, covering critical illness to income protection. Visit covermybubble.co.uk to cover your bubble.
So how have you because you still train obviously and you still have like a lovely figure, how do you come out the other side of it able to still train, to still, eat the kind of foods that you like without still having that niggling in the back of your head thinking, I'm training for this body?
Yeah, it was a journey and I had some tears in the gym because I was once in the gym saying I'm doing this particular movement because I want to build this particular muscle, to then move into I'm doing this movement because I want to be stronger in that area for a sport or for skills or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a journey and I had to kind of move into more skill-based stuff. So I've always done martial arts.
Yeah.
Went back to martial arts. I did Olympic weightlifting and in Olympic weightlifting there's lots of different bodies. So it wasn't about what you look like, it's about what you can lift for your body weight, which is all your personal best. It's not me competing with you, it's me competing with me. So that was a nice mindset to get into and try to do something different with my body. In terms of food, I had to just stop dieting. I had to let go of what that meant and the massive amount of fear. If you ask anyone, stop dieting and you've been exercising, like me, I was exercising like 16 hours a week on restrictive calories that I thought, well, imagine if I stop that, I'm going to gain loads of weight because I'm literally holding my body weight down, which I'll explain later when I do my show and tell. I thought I'm going to, it's going to just expand and I'm going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because we're also in all or nothing mindset.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's not this way, it's that. So if I'm not thin, I'm going to be fat.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything about my genetics. And actually when I did let go, of course I gained weight. My body was, fighting the restriction that I'd been doing.
Yeah.
And maybe about a year or a year and a half, it then started dropping weight.
Yeah. Okay.
And when I stopped dieting, I also stopped weighing myself. So I say I lost weight, but I could just see from my clothes. Like I don't step on the scales.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because my body is not meant to be 7 stone. Like, I had
not
to
many
put blood, sweat and tears into, like, I literally trained like 5 hours a day, ate barely any calories, and I'm not meant to be that weight. So when I stopped doing all of that, of course it all came back on, and then I've pretty much been the same weight ever since. So it's really hard to get into that mindset sometimes, isn't it, when you've been in that place? And even people that aren't even involved in fitness will still also be there mentally as well.
Yeah, because we're sold that diets work.
Yeah.
And because everyone's been on a diet and initially it worked, i.e. they lost some weight, whether it be water weight or fat or whatever, they think, well, if I just keep returning to it, because obviously I failed.
Yeah.
So I've done something wrong. I've regained the weight. I'm a failure. I feel shame and I feel guilt. And these are, again, marketing words that are put on food and your behaviours.
Yeah.
So then you just go back on a diet.
Yeah.
But research shows that after 5 years, diets don't work.
Yeah.
That you regain the weight plus more.
Yeah.
So the more dieting you do, the bigger you're going to be in the end.
Yeah. So how do you go about like stopping dieting? Like, because there's still very much this mindset of like chocolate's bad food and sweets are bad food. How do you have one bourbon biscuit and not the whole pack and like be okay with that?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because I think for me personally, if Bourbon biscuits are the thing we're talking about, and I say that they're bad, now if I eat one of them, I'm going to feel bad I've had one. So I may as well have another.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, fuck it, I may as well eat the whole pack.
Yeah. So many people have that mindset.
And then the diet starts on Monday.
Yeah.
So you think, well, you know, I'll just reset myself and I'll just restrict even harder.
Yeah.
I'll exercise even more. And then obviously you're even hungrier then. And when you get the food, you eat so fast, you don't realise when you're full. You keep eating, you feel terrible. And then the cycle carries on.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to get into that cycle.
Yeah.
And the best way to get out of it is, if that happens, is get over it.
Yeah.
And I say that like as if it's so easy, but my daughter actually taught me that. You know, normal people, because she's a normal eater.
Yeah.
When she was younger, she'd go to the cinema, she'd maybe overeat on chocolate and popcorn. And I'd say, well, how do you handle that? Like, what happens next? She's like, I just get on with my life.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's what normal people do. They just get on with their life. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
You go on holiday, you put on a bit of weight, you eat a bit more, do a bit less exercise, and your body sorts itself out afterwards.
Yeah.
You don't have to go extreme at the gym.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, we think we're in control.
Yeah.
And actually our bodies are in control.
Yeah.
As you know, when you were at that weight, your body was like, no, I'm not going to have a period.
Yeah.
I'm not even feeding myself enough. I definitely can't feed a baby.
Yeah.
And it starts preserving calories.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? I don't have any normal eaters in my life. So like me and my best friend, like we'll always, if we go out for dinner and eat loads of shit, we'll be like, oh, I feel so bad for eating all that stuff. Like I'm still very much on the journey. I'm not there yet. So to hear that there are people out there that can literally eat a lot more on holiday and not exercise, and then just be like, oh well, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
It's just
I will explain that more a bit later when we talk about set point theory.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can explain a little bit now, can't I? And then I'll just show the visual later.
Yeah, definitely.
So set point theory is essentially, we have a body temperature of 37 degrees. So say we walk into this room and loads of people walk in and the temperature goes up.
Yeah.
Our body... Sorry, let me start again. Our bodies are set to 37 degrees.
Yeah.
So say we get ill and we have a temperature, we start sweating and it brings our temperature down.
Yeah.
When we get cold, our hair stand on end and, you know, we shiver and that brings our temperature back up.
Yeah.
Our body's always trying to stay in homeostasis, which is basically balance.
Yeah.
It does it with your body fat, it does it with temperature and everything else. So it's the same as this room. Loads of people walk into the room and the room heats up. You've set the thermostat to a certain temperature.
Yeah.
It will put on the aircon.
Yeah.
You know, you open the windows, it will put on the heating.
Yeah.
Our body does that with our body fat as well.
Yeah.
And our body fat is determined from birth.
Yeah.
So our genetics play a massive part.
Yeah.
Which is why we could, you know, go through the same experience and come out with different bodies.
Yeah. I've seen so many arguments against this with PTs. Are they just saying that because they want a job? Basically, they're
this is the thing.
I need to say it's not genetics, because otherwise the people who are holding a bit more fat will be like, oh, this is my set point. There's nothing I can do to, you know, get there.
Well, you can't see someone's set point.
Yeah.
You can't see health either.
Yeah.
As you know, we both looked the picture of health, like the picture on Health and
But
Fitness
we were
magazine.
not. My
and
kidneys were failing. I had no periods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can be healthy at a bigger size as well.
Yeah.
But because society says this is the picture of fitness and health,
Yeah.
we shame people.
Yeah.
And society shames people.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, if you're a bigger person, you're obviously not eating right, you're obviously not exercising, and that could be bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Because all the women in my family are naturally, like, they're all bigger. They're all quite curvy. They all have big bums. And I've always been determined to not follow those genetics in my family. But I am naturally quite a curvier girl. Even when I was 7 stone, I still had, like, big hip and big bums. So is it like massively genetics, or can we change our body shape?
Well, think about different races. So I'm half Chinese, and if you think about Chinese genetics, they're going to be very different from Western world. Our beauty standards are set for Western world, so my body doesn't fit that anyway. So whether I'm thinner or fatter, I don't fit it. Maybe I did in the 80s when it was like straight size, but now it's like big bum, big hips. I can't do anything to achieve that. So that's where you go so far with
not
what
unless
you
you
can
do
do
a
with
Kim
your
K
body.
and buy a BBL, but little Brazilian bum lift, you know, where they get. But
well, exactly.
that's
but
what
then
people are doing.
If you achieve that, whether you pay for it or you did it in the gym, and you've got that right now, it may not last, like if you did it yourself because, you know, dieting and everything, or if you've done it through surgery, 10 years time, the beauty standard changes.
Exactly.
What
I had a boob job, and now the trend is to have smaller boobs to be able to wear like the little bralettes and stuff. So I now don't fit the standards that were a thing, you know, back in like the 2000s. It was trendy to have big boobs and small waists. It's not the thing anymore. Yeah. So then
Same with me.
Do you get it taken out?
Well, I'm at the end of that journey now, thinking I need to get them changed, and I'm like, I want to have them out.
Yeah, I'm going to go smaller.
So I've been talking about having them out. So that's literally where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to have to do some more body image work.
Yeah.
But I know that I've done it before.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it work again?
Yeah, amazing. So basically, whatever we do, we're never going to fit society standards of what beauty or health is. So just do what beauty or health means to you.
Yeah, well, you might fit it.
Yeah,
but then it's
for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And also, are you just defined by what you look like?
Yeah.
Is that the most important thing about you, or is it who you are and what you can do in the world?
Yeah, it's like the
as
least
a woman,
important
I
thing
think
about
your
you.
voice is the most powerful thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's one of the things, it's a bit patriarchal, but it's about, women being quiet. If you're playing small and you're just focused on your body all the time, you're like a hamster on a wheel, and that just keeps you over there.
Yeah.
While the men can do things over here.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Do you want to give us the visual demonstration of the set point then?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Should we do that now?
Yeah. So here we go. You're going to give us a demonstration of a person's set point. So yeah, go ahead.
So if you imagine your set point like the temperature in the room we spoke about.
Yeah.
This is your natural body. If you do nothing, you generally stay the same way and the duck floats.
Yeah.
Right, this duck represents you going on a diet. To go on a diet, you're trying to go below your set point. So we're pushing it down. I've got to work hard to keep pushing this down.
Yeah.
I am dieting, I am doing more exercise, and my body gets used to it that I have to do more and more and more. So I'm really, really restricting, and I'm so scared if I let go. Like when I said to you, I'm exercising 16 hours a week now.
Yeah.
I'm eating a certain number of calories. If I start eating more and exercising less, I'm going to... Oh, it's supposed to pop up.
It's stuck to the bottom.
I'm going to put on weight, but I'm so scared it's going to go up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It does pop up, but then it just relaxes back to your natural set point.
Yeah.
So when you go on holiday and you eat more and you gain a bit of weight, your body will naturally come back to your set point.
Yeah, so you'll go up a little bit, but then you'll go back down to where you were.
So if you think about when you get ill, no one says to themselves, right, after being ill, I'm now going to eat more to bring my body back. Because we're all like, oh, I'm thinner now, so this is great. But what happens? Your body always comes back.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same the other way around.
Yeah.
But when you do this over and over time, you keep pushing it down, coming back, pushing it down, coming back, pushing it down. Your body's like... caveman times. I'm in the cave. I don't have enough food. Yeah. Right. So when I come out and I see a bush of berries, I binge eat on the whole bush of berries because I need to now store extra calories and extra fat. So when I'm back in the cave, I now have enough on my body because fat is basically an energy source and also for warmth. Now I can use that if I'm in a famine again. Yeah. So because your body gets used to it, I keep going into famine. I keep going into famine. Yeah. What happens is it says, well, I'm going to have more fat on my body now. So that if I go into a famine again, I'm safe. I've got loads of extra calories. Yeah. So you can see how over time, like the first diet worked, I put it down here. Yeah. And then I let go and it came up. Yeah. Yeah. So now we've got more fat on the body. So like yo-yo dieting over and over again, rather than going down, you're just going to keep going up and your set point's just going to raise. Yeah. So that's how you end up like stuck in that cycle. That's now happier and healthier because your body's happy and healthy at the set point. Yeah. When you're restricting and it's down, it's working hard. Yeah. It's, getting ill, it's taking away your reproductive system, your hair's falling out, you're dreaming about food, all of these things, that's not natural and normal. No, it's not. It's crazy, isn't it? Same as if you go over, actually. I used to listen to a podcast by a guy called Chris Sandel. It's called 7 Health. Yeah. And he's always been a lean person naturally, so that's his set point. Yeah. He did an overeating experiment. So that would be like, oh my God, can you imagine? Yeah, yeah. Like playing with your body in that way. We're all happy to go this way. Yeah. But he actually went that way and he was eating so many calories, his body raised his metabolism and brought his weight down. He started losing weight at the end. Oh, why can't I do that? So that's unreal, isn't it? Like, it's unheard of that someone would do that. I kind of miss the days where, because like before competing, I was a normal eater. I could just eat whatever I wanted and I would stay the same weight and it was much slimmer than this, but it just was where I sat. And I miss being like that. But we were speaking earlier about my wedding. I was on this journey to stop being that person that yo-yo dieted, and I made a point of not dieting for my wedding. My wedding was in COVID and it got cancelled twice, so it was the third wedding. So by the third wedding, I had outgrown my original wedding dress that I bought for the first wedding. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just diet, I'll just lose loads of weight and get back into that wedding dress. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I bought another wedding dress and didn't do anything. I just had
the other wedding dress, and it made me so much happier that I was me rather than having to slim down for the dress. Like, I got the dress to fit me. I didn't try and fit the dress. So
I say that in my talks, actually, that exact sentence, because we're told, even when I think I was a size 8 to 10 going to get my wedding dress, and they did all my measurements and they were like, well, we'll do this for now, but when you slim down, you know, would then tuck the dress in a bit more.
Rude.
So they assumed that I'm going to lose weight.
Oh my God.
Even though I was that size.
Yeah. But
so it's expected of you. It's also expected of you not to like your body.
Yeah.
So you're going to diet at some point. And kids younger and younger, like the age of 5 now, are going on diets.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And if you think about the influence we have as mums, your children are watching you.
Yeah.
Like if I've done a lot of coaching on myself, and if I think about where these thoughts and ideas came from, some of them are my mum's voice.
Yeah.
Like, it's not her fault. This is, you know, the area that she lived in. This is what she believed, and everyone's doing the best they can with what they have at the time.
Yeah.
But those really impacted me. And seeing her, like, pinching her fat and stepping on the scales all the time, I'm idolizing her as, this is a woman.
Yeah.
This is what life will be like for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching her exercise, and all of the adverts on because it was the VHS videos back then.
Yeah.
All of the adverts that, you know, let's tap under the chin because we don't want to get a baggy chin, and let's do things under our eyes. And it's all about, you must look a certain way as a woman, and then let's get slim.
Yeah. I'm really lucky with my daughter because she's a gymnast. So everything she does is for health and for strength. And I've always spoken about exercise being for my brain and my body, not for the way I look. So she's very much like, oh, mummy's doing exercise to be strong. But yesterday we went to see Father Christmas, and they had pictures done, and it's the same place as last year, the same Father Christmas. And Bella compared the two, and she was like, oh, mummy, look how chunky I was last year. And I was like, oh God, like, I don't want her to like have that in her head, like comparing herself to past versions of herself. So it's really hard knowing that the slight way you mention something can have an effect on your children. It's crazy, isn't it?
Do you think she's heard you say similar things?
I don't know. Well, maybe from pictures of her as a baby and me being like, oh, look how chunky, and like, because you know when they have like baby rolls and stuff. But I was saying it in like a positive way because I love the chunky baby rolls. Yeah. But we almost need to appreciate our bodies throughout. Like, I wish people would appreciate my thigh rolls like I appreciate my daughter's thigh rolls, but we just don't, do we? It's different.
It's interesting you say with pictures, because what are pictures? They're supposed to be a caption of a memory. Yeah. And I've had the same thing where I just constantly look back and look at my body. Oh, I know what diet I was on then. I wish I enjoyed that body because now it's bigger now, and all of that stuff. And never really appreciating the moment. And actually, those are memories.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we're missing out on our actual life by looking at ourselves, observing us, what we look like, then actually being in our body and looking out. Yeah. We just need to forget the body completely, don't we? It's nothing to do with what's going on in that moment. Like, it's nothing to do with that memory you've made. So I just don't know why we have such a big focus on it. And appreciate our bodies. Like, if you're fit and able and healthy, like, that's the most important thing, because this is a vehicle that drives you through life from birth to death. Definitely. You know, so you're either looking out the window, looking at what the vehicle looks like, or you're looking at the view. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And we were talking earlier as well about slimming down to go on holiday. It's just a thing that's expected. And even me, I'm going on holiday next year to Tenerife, and we've gone every year for the last 3 years. And every year I've outgrown the clothes from the year before. And I'm like determined not to do that this year. And I'm like, but why? Why does it matter? Like, buy clothes for the body, not like slim down the body for the clothes. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. It's a wild way to live. But yes, on that note, shall we do spin and spill? Yeah. Here we are. So it's my new wheel. I'm so excited. This has been like a labour of love, this wheel. It took me so long. I literally had to get a metal stick and heat it on my hob to poke the holes in it. Did you? I love it. To put the screws through. But I'm obsessed. Like, we've been talking about this wheel for so long and I have it. So yeah, if you want to go give it a good spin, we'll see what you get. Scared to break it.
Oh, no. Do you have an embarrassing story? Everyone struggles with this one, right? And I don't know how, because I literally have so many, I guess because your daughter's older now, but from when mine were
could
quite
be so
young.
embarrassing I've deleted it. That could be a thing, couldn't it?
Yeah, but also like back then, like that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Whereas for me, my kids are still young, so they're still embarrassing the shit out of me daily. Honestly, yesterday, I mean, it's not even that embarrassing, but we took the kids to see Father Christmas yesterday, and there's a room full of people watching Father Christmas do tell a story, and my son, bless him, he's so cute, he goes, he's talking, everyone's listening, he goes, Santa, like interrupts everything, he's like, did you know I know the continents, Asia, Africa, North and South America, and he starts listing them off, and everyone's like laughing at Bailey, bless him, and I was like, oh God. But that's not necessarily something embarrassing, because he's just being him. And like, imagine if we could just be authentically ourselves like he can.
Yeah.
Bless him.
I think mine's more embarrassment the other way round, because I had my older daughter when I was 16.
Yeah.
So we can walk around and look like we're friends.
Aww.
And sometimes we're in the shops and she's like, Mom. And they're like, Mum?
We're like sisters.
Are you joking?
But you do look amazing though for your age. Like, tell everyone how old you are.
42. I
just think you're amazing. You've got 10 years on me and you just look like younger than me. God, I need to know what skincare you use.
But I think it was embarrassing for her when we went to Carnival and her friends were calling me a MILF.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
I'd call you a MILF as well, to be fair. Yeah. No,
We're allowed to say that.
Should be proud to be a MILF. Yeah, I love it. Because you could probably wear all the same like festival gear that all the kids are wearing.
Yeah,
and you
she's just given me some clothes actually.
Yeah, there you go. Sorted. I love that for you. And I love that you're also so unapologetically you. We haven't really spoken about everything else that you do as well, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us all the other bits that
Are you thinking about burlesque?
Burlesque, fire stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are part of my body confidence journey, actually.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of transitioning from the gym to doing stuff with my body.
Yeah.
So I was looking for skill-based. You know, what can I do that's fun?
Yeah.
It's creative.
Yeah.
It's a bit about my personality. You know, I can get to know myself, because also you've got to get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Like after recovery, there's a period of discovery, isn't there? I've just let go of this identity. I'm the girl with an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Before that, I'm the girl with this diet or that diet.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go to my parents' house and they'd be like, what diet are you on now? Like, what do we make for you?
Yeah.
And there was always something special for me.
Yeah.
So after that, it's who am I?
Yeah.
And with a lot of people actually who go through a period of therapy, go back to being a child. So you get creative again. You start to imagine things and dream. And then, you know, I was fortunate that I moved from London to Liverpool, and there I found this fire group.
Yeah.
So I'd already started doing burlesque. That was a bit of a story as well, actually. So I used to go to a fitness event every year. And this particular year, someone invited me to something at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was in between, like, I'm still a little bit of, you know, I'm in the industry. I kind of hate it. I wasn't really fully out. So I was like, what do I do? And that day I decided to go to this dance event.
Yeah.
And they had different dance teachers. And one of them was a burlesque teacher. And I always say I'm not a dancer. And you are always what your words are, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I felt very stiff, like the fitness industry is, you know, rigid movements, front and sides.
Yeah.
And dancing, well, there are some rules depending what dancing you're doing, but there is also dance where there's no rules.
Yeah.
And you can be free and like floaty and expressive and feminine. And I feel like fitness is very masculine.
Oh, yeah.
So in this dance class, we were finding our inner diva. And this is where I found Alice.
Alice,
she was in there.
Ego.
Yeah, she was in there.
Yeah.
And I started dancing and I was like, I love this. Like, it feels really good. This is refreshing. And no one's looking at me. No one's judging me. Like, everyone's just being in their bodies and enjoying it. So I guess that was a seed planted. And then I started looking for burlesque classes and courses. And I found this course that had one space left. So I thought, that's my space.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the burlesque world, I found the fire world, and now I've kind of been roped into doing a bit of circus as well.
I love that. That's so
I do
cool.
Chinese lion dancing.
Yeah.
But these are all things that I get to do with my body. It's a privilege to have my body and that I'm fit and able.
Yeah.
So I want to use it in these ways. And they're not competitive.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's expressive. With burlesque, you can do anything.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, obviously, there's traditional burlesque and you start with clothes on and you slowly take the clothes off.
Yeah.
But I've seen people put the clothes on.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've seen people not take everything off. I've seen people do storytelling, gorelesque, boylesque.
Wow.
There's whatever your imagination can think of, you can do that.
There's a class, it's quite far away from me, it's like a 2-hour drive, but it's bigger girls who are doing twerking, and I really want to do it. And
nice.
But it's so far away, and I'm like, I want to do it. I might just go for one rather than doing like a weekly thing. Just go for one. Just
have a workshop.
Have a workshop, because I'd love to do that. That'd be so much fun. But yeah, just actually using your body in a way that's not trying to get to a certain shape, whereas I'm still exercising, you know, in the traditional way, lifting weights, all of that kind of stuff. It would be nice to do something actual fun with my body.
Yeah, so, and it's nice to be in your body and feel like your sexuality.
Yeah.
And be expressive for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not for the male gaze. It's because you want to feel sexy in your body.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. And one more thing we were going to touch on, because you didn't quite finish it earlier, was how do we just eat one bourbon biscuit?
Yeah. So I mentioned before that if I was restricting myself when I eventually got the biscuits, because I felt so bad, I'd have the fuck it button pressed and then I would eat them all.
The fuck it button.
Whereas if you allow yourself everything in abundance, and it is hard to do at first because you don't necessarily know your hunger and fullness.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about it, we were born knowing how to eat.
Yeah.
Like every baby, you're a mother of two, they eat differently.
Yeah.
Like I had one child that ate more than a bottle. Bottles are 9 ounces, aren't they?
Yeah.
She would have 12 ounces.
Yeah.
And my other child would have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Mine are totally different as well. My son will inhale anything that you put in front of him, whereas my daughter, she'll eat like a bird one day, eat barely anything, but then the next day she'll eat loads. So yeah,
so imagine your daughter, an intuitive eater. Some days she's hungry for more, other days she's not. But if she was on a plan and they said, right, this day, and she's not even hungry, and it says you've got to eat here, here and here, so she's overriding her body's signals and forcing herself to eat. And then on the other day it's the other way around. So again, you're looking at the time to say, should I eat by a plan that somebody else made for you, and not going within and actually listening to those feelings. So I also teach in schools, and I ask the kids, how do you know when you're hungry? You know, because if you've been dieting and you've been, you know, living off this plan, how do you actually know? And if you eat slowly, and obviously when you're starving it's hard to eat slowly, how do you know when you're full? Because it takes about 20 minutes for that to kick in. So it's going back to that and allowing yourself to have anything and everything. So I am an intuitive eater, but intuitive eating isn't a plan, because it's my intuition to my body. If you're an intuitive eater, you're intuitive with your body, and you might crave different things.
Because like where you are on your cycle as well, I know when I'm due on, all I want is chocolate. And before I'd be like, oh no, but chocolate's bad, so I'm not going to eat that. Whereas now I do allow myself chocolate if I'm craving chocolate. That's just
I
what
eat
I want.
chocolate every day.
Like unless I'm due on, I don't want chocolate. I'm very much a savoury person. Like I'd rather choose a burger over a chocolate. But when I'm due on, all I want is chocolate. Like I need it. Yeah, exactly.
But I think because I have it every day, because I used to be one of those people that would eat a massive bar of chocolate and I'd literally eat the whole thing. And I thought there's no stopping. And I thought it's because there's not much nutrients in it, so you keep eating, because you wouldn't binge on apples, would you? Because there's nutrients. But because I allow myself to have it, I have like 1 or 2 chocolates a day. Because I know I can have more tomorrow. Whereas then it would be the diet's going to start tomorrow, so I'm going to have to finish it all. Plus, I need to get rid of it from the house so I don't see it, because it also speaks to me from the cupboard.
Same. Literally, there was a time where I said to my husband, like, we can't have any chocolate in the house because I will eat it all. And it got to the point where I was binging on like tubs of peanut butter or whatever nut butter I had just because. And I was like, right, I can't have that in the house. But then if that wasn't there was always something to binge on. And
you eat something else first, don't you? Well, the chocolate's over there. I'm trying not to have it, so I have an apple. The craving's still there. I'll have carrot. The craving's still there. I'll have this, and then you've eaten a million things and then still had the chocolate. Whereas if you just allowed yourself the chocolate
in the first place
and be done with it. But the hard bit is the shame and guilt. And you have to be conscious of the unconscious messages that you're getting, even when you go to the supermarket and the labels that are on food.
I don't bloody look at the labels. I just like, that'll do. That's fine. But yeah, this has been a very interesting episode, and like so many people are going to resonate with so much that you said. So thank you so much. We're going to head over and do Stroller Speedway. How are you feeling?
Excited.
Yeah, amazing. Let's head over.
I'm not competitive at all. Still in there.
So here we are at Stroller Speedway. So we have a bit of a situation today. You've gone out, your baby's done a poo, but you haven't got a clean nappy. So you're going to clean her bum for whatever reason, but then put the dirty nappy back on. Because because podcast problems, I left the clean one at home. So you're going to take her out, you're going to clean her bum, put the dirty nappy back on, slalom that way, and touch my shoulder to finish. And you've got 41 seconds to beat. And less than 2 minutes, 7 seconds to not be at the bottom.
It's been about 13 years since I cleaned a nappy.
Well, and you're not going to do a very good job of it today either, because you've got a dirty nappy to put back on. So where do you think you're going to sit?
Oh. 1 minute 35.
Yeah, you reckon? So about here.
Two. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? Do you need to limber up or anything? Okay. I'll give you a countdown and we will go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Off she goes, straight in there. Love it. Your nails match your hair, but you're going to get all Nutella under your nails in a minute. It's lovely. Oh, it's all up her back as well. How very lovely.
It's real. Reminds me.
I mean, our babies don't have joints like that, like cracks in their legs for the poo to go in, but yeah.
How do you know when it's clean then?
I mean, I'm not going to say it matters that much considering you're putting a dirty nappy
and then the fresh one.
Yeah, the fresh one. Is this bringing you back memories from 13 years ago? Yeah.
That's why I don't do this anymore.
We'll do a vest up. Poor little baby. She's got her bits all hanging out. Not that it matters because she's got a dirty nappy on, but yeah. There we go.
In you go.
Then a little slalom that way. Slalom back. Good slalom action. Love it. And touch the shoulder to finish. Where do you think you are?
Probably longer. Actually, the nappy was a bit of a palaver.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It must just feel longer when you're doing it because it's not. You are at 1 minute 9 seconds. 1:09. Well done. That's very respectable.
What were they getting up to?
Honestly, she thought she did really well. She was like, yeah, boss that, smashed it. And no one's ever done more than her. So where are we sitting? We are sitting in here. Oh, it's not sticking. There we go. Very respectable. I love it. Good job. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, good.
Prefer that bit to the
You're out of
nappy.
breath. Love that. Amazing. Let's head back over. Amazing. So how was that?
That was really fun. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, definitely saw the competitive side of you.
It's in there.
Yeah, definitely is. I think we're people like us who have been in fitness are always just going to have that competitive edge, aren't we?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on today. It's been really lovely to chat to you again after 8-9 years that we first spoke.
Time
it's
goes
crazy,
fast.
isn't it? And this episode is really going to help so many people. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell everyone where we can find you online and your various places?
So I hang out mostly on Instagram. Mm-hmm. My Instagram is @body_confidence and the number's 22. Mm-hmm. But I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the usual places.
Amazing.
I've just got Substack, actually. Is it called Substack?
I don't know. What's that? Is there another one I've got to remember to do now? I can't even keep up with the ones we've got. Bloody hell.
It's a place that you can write longer things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit like a newsletter.
I'm good with Instagram and TikTok. That's quite enough.
I prefer Instagram.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I thought I had to be down with the kids, though, and get on TikTok, so I am. But Instagram's my home as well.
Yeah, I am on TikTok as well, actually.
Yeah. God, you're everywhere. But thank you so much for coming on, and thank you to everyone for watching and listening at home. Please do give us a like, download, subscribe, all the things, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.